Hey y'all, it's Megan and Andy. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Gonna spend some time with us today. We got a few things that we got going on. We're gonna try to get a little work done in the garden if it ain't too wet, and we're gonna be messing with some worms.
Well, we're at least gonna build them a home.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna mess with worms today or not, but I wanna get this thing put together. I got something the other day. I was watching Danny and Wanda at Pecan Grove, and they showed their little worm factories they have set up in their high tunnel. And I watched a video a long time ago of when they got this thing, and it kind of, worms and stuff kind of intrigued me, but I've never actually done anything with worms. Like, we've never tried to raise any worms, make any worm castings or tea or anything like that. This will hopefully be a way that we can harvest worm castings to use in the garden, and we can get worm tea, which honestly I didn't know there was such a thing until I watched their video the other day when they were working in the high tunnel. This thing has a valve at the bottom of it that will allow you to drain out the worm tea. Anyways, we're going to put it together. I'm not 100% sure we're actually going to get worms in it and all that today.
Oh, that was going to be the exciting part, digging up the worms.
I don't know if I'm going to do that today or not, because we've got so much stuff to do in the garden, y'all. And right now, we're just kind of waiting on things to dry off because it rained again like early this morning. Now the sun's out and it's absolutely gorgeous. The wind's blowing, so I'm hoping the garden dries out just a little bit. So here it is. We ain't even got it out of the box yet. And it's got all these different compartments you have to put together, so let's dig it out and see what it consists of.
Worms through there.
You think you squeeze the worms through there?
I don't know. I mean, worms can fit through there.
I guess this right here's some medium to start the worms in, maybe?
And
I
here's
don't
a
know. I guess that's some worm food.
Oh, it even comes with a thermometer. I guess to make sure they don't get too hot.
Is that the drainer? Wait, is worm tea?
Wonder why it needs like a squeegee. I don't know what that's for.
Is worm tea worm pee?
It's like, I really don't know how to.
Cut my hand. So it looks like the worm pee floats down over here, and then you pull it out.
Then you can, yeah.
Well, set up the collection base. Right here's our collection base.
That's easy enough.
That's easy enough. Install the worm ladder, which is this thing.
It doesn't know what it is.
I can't believe you're reading the directions. I'm proud of you.
So after the worm ladder, it says add an empty tray, which would be one of these. I guess just like that. And then we have the lid.
Oh, well, there you go.
Is that all it is to it? So what does this doohickey-doo then?
Is that where you pour the worm tea in? Or is that where you put the worms in? Or grow a crate?
Let's see. Place several
Oh, this is a watering tray. It says measure dry soil, mix liquid fertilizer, spread worm tea.
What?
What?
I don't know. I think this is something, from the sound of it, you take and drain your worm tea into maybe, and when you get to that mark, you're at a gallon, and then that acts like you're dispersing it, and you water. I don't know. I have to look into that.
That makes sense, though.
So you know all of the coffee grounds and everything like that you can put in here too.
Yeah. I thought worms like them.
What, coffee grounds?
Mm-hmm.
Bin management. Place several moist sections of paper soaked in water directly on top of the food in the feeding tray. So what is the feeding tray? Is that this?
Look what I found here.
Oh, Maggie's found
And
us some slugs.
I don't think we want slugs in it.
Was they already in there?
Yeah.
1 pound of worms need a ½ pound of food a day to avoid overfeeding.
So our cardboard can go in here too.
Can it?
From our boxes. Yeah, that's just part of your fiber. Greens and browns, paper, cardboard, organic material, and eggshells.
Well, that's cool.
I still ain't figured out what that little thing's for.
What?
That little thing.
That.
Oh, this is preparing the bedding.
So when you spin this
Oh,
thing
honey,
around,
I think this is a book that all goes together.
oh, does it? Did it fall apart?
Yeah. See, there we go.
Right there's your valve, and supposedly you can drain out your worm tea. Like I said, I didn't realize these things made anything such as worm tea, but I guess they do.
Preparing bedding.
But after I watched their video the other day and I seen him pouring that worm tea on his plants, I went to Amazon and ordered me one.
If this is outside, remove the lid. If inside, remove the lid and place a light over. Stir the compost. This will drive the worms down into the feeding tray below. Oh, this is compost harvesting. The spigot on your worm factory is mostly cosmetic and should remain open, allowing air to circulate upward through the trays.
Really?
That's what it says, so I bet you set that thing under it.
Well, I was going to say, Danny turned his on and drained it out the other day. So you're saying it's supposed to stay like that?
I bet so.
With it open and that catches it?
I bet so. And it said, because it says this allows air to come up this way too.
What about this block? What's this dude? It looks like some dried peat.
Coir.
What's that?
Peat moss. Oh, it's ground coconut fiber.
Is the most desirable bedding material because it retains moisture and improves the quality of the worm castings that go into your garden. Where's the pumice at? Said it come with pumice.
Pumice. Where does the pumice look?
Maybe it's in here. That's just a slight newspaper though.
Yeah, that's all that is, a newspaper.
It's supposed to come with rock dust.
I don't see no rock dust or pumice. Yeah, I don't think that's nothing but newspaper. And that's
That's all it was in there.
that's all that was in there, yeah.
There are many ways to get worms.
Is this pumice?
Ain't nothing in here, is it?
Worms from a friend.
Is this pumice?
Where?
Where?
Uh-uh.
All right, preparing your bedding. Ooh. Ready? Are you listening?
Yeah.
Daddy has it.
Bring it over here.
Place the end of the brick of coir, that's that, right?
Yeah.
In a bowl. Pour 1 cup of water over the brick and let it soak until it begins to break apart.
So we supposed to use this?
Yeah, we're supposed to use the other stuff too.
Are we?
Yeah.
So what are we going to do if we don't have it?
Well, it says it's, one of them says it's rock dust and one of them says it's porous volcanic rock.
Maybe I should look it up and try to find some.
No, I'm assuming it come in the price of this.
But it ain't in here.
Yeah, right here. Worm Factory 360 parts list. Thermometer, minerals,
Yeah, we got that. Now the cultivator, Jacob just had that.
pumice, scraper, cultivator, coir, cocoa coir,
That's this.
and shredded paper.
Well, we got
So
the
you're supposed to
shredded
have minerals and pumice.
minerals and pumice. We do not have.
The only thing that's in here is this.
All right.
Okay.
That might be all for today then. We don't have everything. I guess I will send them a message and say that it didn't all come. Wouldn't that be what you do?
Yeah.
Well, darn. We thought we was going to start some worms today.
Oh, well,
Well,
it's all right. Just the way it goes.
Yo, I wonder why I didn't find it.
Well, I'm going to leave the bowl in there. You ain't going to need that, are you?
I don't reckon. Right here, you can order additional bedding materials, but
Well, I'll send
but
them.
it didn't come with the ones that was supposed to.
I'll see what.
All right here, missing parts. If original parts seem to be missing, they may be tucked inside a tray or base. Turn the trays and base upside down gently, tap and shake. If missing parts do not appear, report when and where you purchased your worm factory, including a photo of labels and on the box.
Nope, nothing.
Look on the bottom of everything.
Well, we would notice a bag of.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that's what they're going to ask you.
Yeah, there ain't nothing in there.
It says it's going to have a picture of all labels on the box. Well, sometimes things like that happen.
Yeah, it must be something that happens very often if they've got a thing in the instructions about missing parts.
Yep. Look. It come with a
Look,
worm.
it's already got a worm crawling.
Yay!
This thing must really draw the worms.
Get it.
Yep, ground's wet and cool enough. I guess he thought he'd be on the move.
I guess so.
Oh my gosh, he's long.
Well, even though we're not going to get this started today, I think we should mention something really cool that we was reading about the other night.
Well, this is the other thing that got me intrigued about worms.
Yeah.
And I've always been intrigued about worms. But it really got both of our attention and kind of made us think a little bit more about worms.
I think worms are cool anyway.
I think they are.
But
it's amazing what worms can do.
You've heard us talk, you know, many times through the last several months about Backwoods Home magazine. The spring version of it has this really cool article about earthworms, and it was very, I don't know, just interesting. Just like it talks about worms when you see them crawl on top of the ground like that, it's because the ground is cool enough that they can get out of the ground and crawl. And it talked about all the many benefits of earthworms, and that's just something we love about Backwoods Home magazine and their sister magazine, Self-Reliance, is you just learn so much, and you never know what each version is gonna have in it.
Well, one thing that I found very interesting, and I have little patience when it comes to sitting down and reading, and so usually I'll get started reading something and I lose all interest in it and I just put it up. When I'm reading an article in there, it really keeps my attention.
Yeah, I agree.
And with the worm deal, I don't know if many of y'all probably know this already, but I knew worm castings were good, and they were good for your soil and everything else. But did you know that when worm castings come out, they are, what was it, 3 times the phosphorus, nitrogen, and potassium?
Yeah.
And so like they're like a natural fertilizer, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's why you always hear people say, and you've heard us say in the past, that worms are great for your soil. And it means you've got healthy soil if you see good worm population there. But
we would like to thank Backwoods Home Magazine for sponsoring today's video. We are really happy to work with them just because it's something we've read for years and years, and I was so excited when I got the first email asking if we could, be partners. And I don't know, I really feel blessed about that, because you don't know how, Andy can tell you how excited I was when I got that email. But anyways, they're going to offer y'all 50% off if you go through our link. So I hope y'all will check those out. And I hope the ones of y'all that have went ahead and subscribed to it, I hope you're really enjoying the magazine. I know every time we mention it, we get some comments, people saying, thank you so much for telling us about it. And like I said, it may not be for everybody, because we're all different, but we enjoy it anyway, and hope y'all will check them out.
That's right.
Now what, boss man?
Well, I guess since we don't have everything,
since we're on the standstill,
we'll go set this on the porch, and I will see if I can't figure out how to contact somebody about it, and then
hopefully this wind is like dried it out some.
I hope so. It's so nice out here.
It is. It's way nicer than it was yesterday.
I named my worm Wormy.
Oh, is his name Wormy?
Yeah. Hey, Daddy, I'm
gonna
keep it. What's a doorknob out for the door?
Well,
the Nissan.
I don't know if worms can live in jars, but I guess you could try putting him in a jar with some dirt.
You know where the doorknob is? I said throw it in the truck. I know where they are.
Daddy, you think will her worm live in a jar? It'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put holes in the lid.
Daddy said it'll die.
Where else can you put them to keep them?
Well,
where's my little wood one at?
Your little who?
My little wood one.
Oh.
There's a little wood one. Mary's got a short handle on
Potentially it's in the pack house.
It's not
it might be in there. Check in there.
It's old.
It might be in there, but I believe that one's out there in the pack house.
Well, I guess I'll just use this one. Okay.
So we're going to go out here and just see if the garden's dried out enough to work in it yet.
Look here.
What?
Another vole bites the dust. Look.
So y'all, there's a vole.
That's the second one we found in the last, 2 or 3 days that the cats have killed.
Yeah.
I know that ain't the same one.
That's awesome.
Because the other one was a little rougher shaped than that. But Maxwell's been out there. I seen him yesterday. He was out there about all day walking back and forth along them cabbage plants.
Well, he's actually doing his job. How about that? About time something done its job around here.
Hey, they do a good job.
All right. I'm going to say we can work in this thing. And so quick update on our green beans. Still nothing. There's a couple that came up like that came up, but you keep in mind there's like 5 planted around this pole, and same here. We've got 1 coming up. So they have had plenty of time to germinate. I'm thinking I'm gonna pull the TPs down, come in here and just retill this and start over from scratch. Uh-oh.
What?
We already got a squash bug attack the squash. Look at this.
Of course. Always.
Already?
Always something. Always something trying to eat the food.
Our #1 goal is getting these tomatoes tied up. Like, that's got to be done. They are getting way too high.
They're going to start falling if I don't do something.
And that's okay if we wanted them to fall. But we don't want them to fall. We want them to be tied up. So I think before we do that, though, I've got an extra bale of hay over here. And once we get everything hoed through and go ahead and kind of chop up the weeds that are coming in already, we will come back and mulch everything in here before we get our Florida weave going on, and then we'll tie them up.
Yeah, and if you hadn't been following us since last garden time, the Florida weave is my favorite way to tie up tomatoes. We've used tomato cages, we've used different things, we've let them fall on the ground, we've tried all kinds of ways, and for us anyway, the Florida weave seems to be something I can at least keep up with better, and it keeps them tied up better, I think.
Right.
Don't you?
Yep.
I like doing it anyway. I don't mind it. You just gotta stay on top of it or they'll break. Yeah, the dirt's not working bad at all. That creek, where it flooded the other day.
Yeah.
It washed all that leaves and all that out of their swimming hole. They got a nice swimming hole right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cleaned it out pretty good.
I tell you what, there ain't nothing, I mean, other than a tiller, there's nothing like a stirrup hoe to do this kind of work right here. Cleaning out in between the rows. What are you trying to do to me?
You in my way. Why you got to come where I'm
Well, I
working?
was all right, and you walked away, and then when you come back, I'm in your way.
See right there, that one's already fallen.
I think I'm gonna go get the tiller. The heck with this mess. I'll be out here all day hoeing this thing.
Well, I just wanted to hoe in between the plants.
Yeah, but I want to get it all before we put mulch down on top of it, just to do away with any weed that's already started.
All right then.
I'm gonna straighten out our watermelon vines so I don't hit them. Boy, these things have grew. Y'all remember we replanted the cucumbers the other day? Look at that, already germinating. That quick, so I'm gonna assume that the other seeds apparently were bad if those come up that quick. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and pull you out. Yep, right there's the bug. Look at that. It's loaded with squash bugs. All right, well, that part's taken care of. We need to go get a bale of hay, and we'll go ahead and mulch around everything from the start of these tomatoes this way, because the tomatoes and watermelons are going to be in here long term, and that means once we get the mulch and everything around it, we're not going to have to do this tillage or anything anymore. It'll be taken care of and kind of laid by for the season. Once we get that done, then we will stake up these tomatoes. I wasn't going to take this fence down, but I figured it'd help. Yeah, so this, I guess we just unroll, because we've always used square bales in the past. So I guess we'll just unroll it and scatter.
All right.
We need to get them watermelons mulched really good, because they're going to be there pretty much the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Same with the tomatoes.
We've been doing this way, what, the past, it'd be a third year probably.
Yeah, and it's amazing. The
At least a
difference it makes.
third year, yeah.
Keeps the weeds down, keeps your plants hydrated better during the hot summer, and we'll mulch around our cucumbers up there.
Yes.
We might not do that today since they're not all they've not all
Yeah, I think we
came
should
up.
wait till they get a little bigger to do
Yeah, we'll
them.
wait till they come up so we don't cover them up. All right, let's.
Well, I guess we'll just get us off a sheet of it.
Yeah,
There you go.
have at it. And guys, the thicker you can put this, the better you are. Because the thicker it is, the more chance nothing's going to pop through it. And I like to use hay versus straw.
We found that out real quick last year when we tried to use straw.
Yeah, well, straw has usually has a lot of wheat seed in it, or wheat or rye, whatever the straw come out of. But it's usually got a bunch of seed in it, and that will come up in amongst whatever you're trying to grow, and you'll have a mess on your hands.
Well, somebody's gonna ask though, don't hay have grass seed in it?
Well, it does. And so if I left this hay laying here till next year.
You about took out my tomato plant with your big sheet of hay there.
Did I?
You almost did.
But if we left this hay laying here till next year, yeah, you would have a lot of grasses come up out of it. But where most of the grasses in this are perennial type grasses, they won't germinate this time of year because it's too hot for them. These are a lot of your hay, at least in our area, is cool season grasses. So they won't germinate until fall. And plus, you got to think of it like this. As hay breaks down, hay's got nutrients in it. Straw is just dead plant material that doesn't have any nutrient content at all. I don't know, Megan. I believe I like getting it off of this better than I do
That's kind of what I was
than a
thinking.
bale.
Because it already comes off in thick sheets,
Yeah.
making it a little easier.
I don't know about you, Megan, but I think it makes it look
Neater.
neater and more finished.
Yeah.
Kind of makes your garden look healthier when you've got a layer of mulch like this in it.
Work smarter, not harder.
Well, and not only that, at the same time, you're improving your soil.
All right.
Because this is all going to break down and be worked right back into the soil that's here.
What I'm thinking is somebody will watch us do this and be like, golly, that's a lot of work. Why you want to do that? And honestly, in the long run,
it's less work.
it's less work.
And hopefully we can show you that here in a month or two. Hopefully around all these tomatoes it's still clean.
And it keeps them from cooking in the summertime. You can come out here when it's 100 degrees outside and pull back around your plants, feel under this hay, and it's just as cool and damp most of the time, unless it gets real dry, and then that goes away too, but just as cool around them roots.
All right, well, I don't know if you can tell by the shade in the garden behind me, but it's actually several hours later than when we got started on this. It's been a very busy day, but in amongst everything, me and Jacob got out here and we finished mulching all of it. You see everything's got good mulch coverage on it now. I even went ahead and mulched the teepees. So I put a layer of mulch down, put the teepees back up, and my plan for replanting this is just to get in here and rake back the mulch, and we'll put the seed in the ground. That way we don't have to be working around the teepees to get all that mulched. It's already done. We still got to put up the T-post for the tomatoes. We got to put up T-post for my trellis I'm going to build for my black-eyed peas. And I think I have enough room to get me like 2 more rows of sweet corn in here. And yes, 2 ain't the best situation to get good pollination, but I have planted 2 rows in the past and had perfect pollination, no issues. But it's not recommended to do that. But anyways, that's all the room we have to work with, so that's what we're going to do. I figure everybody probably wants to see this, but right now, if you're wondering what Megan and the kids are doing, they have the horses out, playing with them. Look at there. They love them horses. Now Maggie's on bareback. Alright, I got my posts laid out. Now one thing I definitely understand, because we had to make the investment as well, is this is quite the investment the first time you do it, to buy this many T-posts to use just in the garden. However, you have to kind of change your way of thinking and remember that it's an investment, and this is something that you'll have forever. All right, well, I've got all the T-posts up for the tomatoes here. Now, I got to tackle some tall T-posts for my netting for my black-eyed peas. So, we went ahead and mulched around them too, all the way out through there. They ain't really picking up, but you can see the little green things in between all the hay. And for these are true black-eyed peas. They are a running pea, and so they'll just keep on growing. And so I'm going to be using some 8-foot T-posts with what they call Hortonova netting, which we'll show you here shortly. All right, I hope my little step stool here is high enough. I may have to go get a step ladder. Oh yeah, this is going to work. I need to back it up. So these are going to have so much pressure on them, because by the time these grow up that net and they get on up in height, it's going to be a lot of weight sagging on that net. So I'm going to put my posts somewhat close together, but I'm also going to put these outside posts leaning back like that just a little bit. Those peas we planted the other day before the rain are right in this area right here somewhere. I'm not 100% sure where they are because they haven't come up yet. Of course, they haven't had time to come up yet. But I really wish they were. Oh, right there they are. Right there's the first one busting the ground. That must have just happened. That's the first one I've seen. So that means my row is right in there. Okay, good. I was a little bit worried I got too close to them with a tiller, but I got plenty of room around them. All right, honey. Let's show them how you get this here Florida weave done.
I have to remember myself.
You don't remember? So this is a ball of twine that we use, and it is, I believe it's a 12 mil twine. It's a bigger twine, cotton string. But you can't use like a thin string like what we used to tie tobacco with, because it has so much pressure on it once they get bigger that, Megan's watching her horse over here go crazy. But it has so much pressure on it when it gets bigger that it'll break that twine. So you have to use this thicker twine. Now this roll did come off of Amazon. I forget how many feet it is, but we'll put a link in the description to it. And that roll right there will last, I don't know, it'll probably do this year's tomatoes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But next year we'll probably have to buy another one.
I think that's what happened to my other string. I think I pretty much run out last year.
Did you?
I think, now after I got thinking about it.
You may have, because it takes a lot. Especially because you have to go up the row and back down the row.
But it is important, don't get the little tiny string, because it will break.
Now I've seen some people use nylon string, but I don't like doing that because this, once you take your tomatoes down, you can leave it laying in the garden and it'll rot out and be gone by next year.
Now some people like have it rigged up in a pipe and everything else, but I just make do with what I got here. You're just kind of giving your tomatoes a hug.
The string itself is pretty much what's holding up your tomatoes. But keeping it tight is the key. It will not work if it's not kept tight.
Yeah, if it's loose, you'll notice it once your tomatoes start getting bigger.
And the higher up on the post you go, the easier it gets too.
Oh yeah.
Right now it's kind of like you priming first primings, ain't it?
Yeah. I don't even know if I do it right. This is just the way that I found out that works. And well, if this is not exactly the Florida weave, I guess I call it the true grit weave.
The true grit weave.
Because this is how Megan does it. So when you're going this way, you want your string on this side of the post and on this side of the post and on this side of your tomatoes. And when you're coming back, you want it on this side of your tomatoes and on this side of the post.
There you go. Sort of like a zigzag in a way.
Like I said, I'm not sure it's exactly the Florida weave, but...
But the key to it is having sturdy posts and pulling that string tight.
Tight string and staying on top of it.
And staying on top of it. If you stay on top of it, it's not too bad. But if you ever let it get behind, you got a mess,
they'll fall
don't you?
over and they'll break.
And they'll break, yep.
So if you're gonna start it this way, you're gonna have to, you've made yourself a job.
You made a commitment, ain't you?
Yep.
Kind of like mowing hay. Once you mow that hay, you've made a commitment.
Yep. When I can stand up and do it, I can fly through and get this done. This first one is the hardest.
All right, well, the first row of Florida weave on the worst row we had is done. So now I think I'm going to put up this Hortonova netting. We'll show you how that works. This is a roll of Hortonova netting. I forget how many feet is on this roll, but it's one of the bigger ones that was on Amazon. I'll place a link to this as well in our video description. However, do know that there are several different lengths of this stuff, so just because we placed the one that we bought, if you don't need this much, I wouldn't buy this much. But what I'm thinking is I'll have this roll right here for several upcoming years, because I'm not going to use however many feet's on this roll from here to the end. And so it comes off the roll just like that right there. And the easiest way I've found to do this is take and attach it just like that, lightly tight to a T-post, and then we're going to unroll it all the way to the other end and we'll cut it off. It is somewhat of a throwaway product though, because once you've got vines and stuff growing all over this, I mean, unless you've just got all the time in the world, it would take forever to get everything picked out of it. So it's easier just to cut it off, throw it away, and start over with new the next year. However, even though it is a throwaway product, it sure does make a nice, neat looking trellis for whatever you're trying to trellis. I think I've seen people use use it for cucumbers. I don't think it would work good for tomatoes because it's just not sturdy enough to hold up that heavy of something. But for peas, for green beans, and possibly even cucumbers, this stuff works really good for it. All right, so you find your top corner, which sometimes can be sort of difficult to find. I believe it's right here. Find your top corner, and I'll kind of give it a good wrap around right there so it is sturdy on there. And then we'll pull down to the bottom, and just like anything else, you want to pull it tight, because the tighter this is, the better this works as well. And there's the start of it. This is gonna look so good.
It really is.
So if you'll I'll go across and get the top since I'm taller. If you'll go across and get the bottom.
How tight you want me to?
You want to pull it down pretty tight.
Like as tight as I can get it? Like way down here like this? Or no?
Yeah, pretty tight.
Like that?
Yeah.
That's okay?
Yeah. And even though it looks like it would be somewhat cumbersome to unroll, as you're going along, it's actually pretty easy. You don't much got to worry about it breaking because it's some really tough material.
It does look good. It looks really good.
Well, that's one more thing done.
I know.
That looks pretty down through there.
It does.
That's going to look really pretty when it's covered in vines.
And what them peas will do is they'll crawl to the top of it and then they'll just keep reaching. So they may get up there where I can't even.
Yeah, and once they get up here, we just won't worry about them anymore.
No, but I'm just saying that's what beans like to do. They'll get up there and they'll reach. They want to climb some more.
Yeah.
I do like this stuff though.
Just to give y'all a heads up, the 2 corn rows are going to go right here. Everything is going to end up being crowded once the cucumbers grow up, once the beans grow up. But that's okay. The more shade canopy you get over your soil, the less problem you're going to have with weeds. So I don't mind stuff being crowded. But anyways, y'all, I guess that's probably going to be it for today's video.
Yep. Hope y'all enjoyed the video and hope you might have learned a little something. And happy gardening.
Exactly. Get out there and get you some stuff planted, even if your weather ain't been right like ours.
Yep.
Or
or even if you just got a couple of pots on your back porch.
That's right.
But anyways, guys, till we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.